Welcome to the introduction for SimWay Hunt. We're going to show you how easy it is to set up the system. We're going to take a look at the room, the computer, the camera, the projector, and where you can put it in the room. As you can see here, we have a fairly large screen, 6 meters, and that is, of course, creating a great experience, but you can do just as well with a screen with about 3 meters wide. The room should have no daylight coming in, so you need to seal the windows from daylight because the infrared light in the daylight will trigger the system. Well, if you have a 4 meter wide wall, you should put the camera 4 meters from the wall. And if you have 3 meters, put it slightly above 3 meters, because the camera must be able to cover the whole wall. So a good rule is like 3 meters wide, 3 meters from the wall, 4 meters wide screen, 4 meters from the wall, and so forth. Now we are going to go through the camera, the projector, and the computer. So let's start with the camera. This camera is placed on a tripod, but you can just as well put it on a table or with a camera mount clamp type in the edge of the table or in the ceiling. The important thing is that the camera should never be moved after you have calibrated. We will go through the calibration later, but remember, put the camera steady. Then you don't have to recalibrate it that often. So let's install the cameras. You have installed your system, and then you go to the computer's hard drive, C, and there you find a file called Program Files x86. You open that and you will find a file folder called SimWay Hunt 14, and there you will see a driver called CLI driver. And you start that and you install, by that you install the camera application drivers. This will take maybe a minute or two, and when that is done, you will have this icon on your desktop, CLI test. So let's start it. So what we see here on the screen is what the camera sees of your wall. So if you haven't put up your camera yet, put them so they are aimed towards the ceiling, towards the wall you are going to shoot at. And as you can see here, if I move my camera now, the image will move with it. So make sure you see the whole wall in this little window, CLI test. So adjust the camera and make it sure it stands still, and then you're good to go. Now we have installed the camera, we have the program installed on our computer, we have the video projector running, and let's now calibrate the cameras to the shooting system. So we start SimWay Hunt. It's in Programs, SimWay Hunt, Play SimWay Hunt. So the first time you start the program, you will get to this screen. This is the setup screen. And the first thing you need to do here is to put in the ID and key for the camera. So you find the key on the back of your camera, and you put the numbers in here, and you click on Activate. So when that is done, you go to the setup screen for calibration. Go to Settings. In the left corner here, we see the light levels for the room. And the two figures here is the amount of light that hits the cameras at the moment. And take a look at the highest of these two values and make sure that the threshold value down here is higher by maybe 10 or 20 points than the highest of these two values. So now we'll finish with the last step, and that is the calibration of the guns. Go to calibrate. And now just a rough check is have someone shoot at the screen in the box just to make sure that the dot is fairly in the middle, and adjust the camera accordingly. That is fairly good. Please take the other gun and check that one too. And that's also in the middle. So that now we're good to go with the rough calibration. So let's take a look at how we calibrate the precision of the guns. So as I have a 2-weapon system, 2-camera system, I can choose to make a calibration with 2 separate weapons or with a single weapon with an aim module. So in this case, I will go with 2 separate weapons. And I just take one of the guns and I aim and fire at the dot in the corner there. And then I take the right upper corner, the lower right corner, and the lower left corner. And then I take the second weapon and I do the same thing. Upper left corner, upper right corner, lower right, lower left. And then I can pull the trigger and take a look and make sure I see the corresponding crosshair. This looks good, and this one looks good too. And then you just push next and exit. A few words about the distance to screen from the camera and the width of your screen or your wall. This little area here, you should adjust the distance to screen to the distance in meters that you have. And in my case, it is 6 meters. So I choose OK. And the screen width on my screen here or my wall is 6 meters, so that's good. To make the system give you a more naturalistic experience. So okay, we are ready to go hunting or shooting. So take a look at all these categories and explore them by yourself. You can go into this very easy and you find different kinds of competitions, training modes and so forth. So why don't we start with some boar hunt. First thing I do is to calibrate the gun for this particular event, and that is because different people holds the gun differently. So I shoot one shot in the middle and then just confirm with one more shot. Then I shoot OK, and I'm ready to hunt.